All right.
What's going on, everybody? Week 2 is now in the books.
Yep. Welcome to week 2 of the Zero Zone.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of craziness happened this weekend.
A lot of people hurt. A lot of people, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people getting hurt. And
some people got signed because of how certain teams played immediately after the game. Kind of cool.
yeah, the Cowboys. Didn't they signed somebody?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah, there's stuff to talk about from that game. For once. All right. So let's see. Where are we going? Foist.
Commanders, Packers.
Yes. You can start that one off.
All right, so a lot of the takeaways that I got from the Commanders and Packers game. Obviously, two great quarterbacks, two good young quarterbacks, two good defenses going up against one another. But ultimately, the Packers just outplayed the Commanders at the end. Jaden Daniels tried to make a comeback that kind of stalled out in the end of the fourth quarter. So, but for me, I think the Commanders in the beginning of the game just could not maintain time of possession, and they were losing a lot at the line of scrimmage. The Packers defense went ahead and they were ridiculous. Michael Parsons himself had 3 quarterback hits, so I don't know, and a half sack. I mean, all those guys were rocking on that front seven. So Kraft went ahead and hauled in over 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Went ahead and saw that. He was a big part of their offense, moving the chains, getting everything rolling. Jordan Love, 292 yards, 19 out of 31, so 19 completions out of 31 attempts, and 2 touchdowns. I think that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I mean, he was hitting all his targets, too. It wasn't just one or two people.
And I feel like a lot of the incompletions were drops, if anything, or the guy got hit and the ball came up.
Yeah.
The Commanders, I feel like in the beginning of the game, their defense was just they just didn't look like they just didn't know what to do against that Packers offense.
And same on the other side of the ball. They couldn't really do much until late.
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels was like the one bright spot on that offense.
Debo had a couple good plays too.
Yeah. No, you're right. But he ended up with 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Even with all the adversity, still got 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
200 passing yards, and just did what he could. Obviously, it wasn't enough. The Packers ended up winning the game.
Yep.
But
all right, let's move on. Jags and Bengals. Oh, Burrow's out again. Shocker.
yeah, he hurt his toe. He's got to get surgery on his toe.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bengals is like every year at this point. I saw there was a comparison about him and Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too pretty in terms of how many times Burrow's gotten hit and gotten sacked. I think in his career so far, he's been sacked over 200 times.
Yeah, that offensive line definitely needs help, especially with a quarterback of his class. You'd think they would have already solved the offensive line issue.
Yeah.
Which has been an ongoing issue since he got drafted.
Yeah.
Even back in the days of Andy Dalton, the only noticeable names that I remember are like Kevin Zeitler and Andrew Whitworth before he went to the Rams.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, Browning, he ended up playing pretty good minus the 3 interceptions. They pulled out.
Points.
They pulled it out. They pulled it out.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what matters. Burrow is said to be out between 3 to 5 months, so that's honestly going to put a damper on their playoff hopes. And they ended up pulling out the win. Their defense coming in clutch. I think that, again, like what you said, where Browning, he just did what he had to do, moved the chains, scored, and did his job. I mean, the 3 interceptions could have been done without, but
yeah, But I mean, then Trevor Lawrence still didn't play well. A couple interceptions,
if you take away the interceptions, and if you go ahead and you look at a lot of the drops that these receivers had, they had like 11 drops, 11 passes were dropped on him. So you also got to look at that, and then two more of his other incompletions were the interceptions.
Yeah.
You know, so imagine if they didn't have the drops and if they didn't have the drops, who knows if the interceptions would have happened?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
he still threw for 3 touchdowns.
yeah,
so.
exactly. That's what I'm saying, and pretty good yardage. That Jags defense though was really good. For what I saw, went ahead and played really well. Went ahead and showed that they can bring pressure. Had 3 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 9 quarterback hits. So that shows that Jacksonville defense. I mean, you think we're going to see Saxonville again?
I don't know. Well, I
You
mean,
know?
listen, I think for that to happen too, the offense has to start clicking
Yeah,
because
well, I mean,
that'll hype the guys up enough to start
if
playing
you looked
even
at
better.
ETN and
Yeah,
the
he's
second string guy that they got, they both averaged over 5 yards a carry, and
Yeah.
each both had over 8 attempts or more. So to me, I mean, that offensive line looks really good. It's just the passing game that's got to start clicking,
Yeah.
and they honestly should lean more to the running game, being that their running backs are honestly doing really well.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I
even
think-
they got rid of the Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, they
Jesus
traded
Christ.
him, but I think that's because they had a serviceable backup with this other guy.
Yeah.
you know.
Clearly, yeah.
And Etienne had that big first game too, so it kind of showed: do we really need a third guy?
Yeah, no.
You know, who's going to want money?
Yeah.
You know, eventually, if we keep him on, we'd rather try to get the draft picks out of him, try to get another player. You know,
Yeah.
get better. What's the word?
Production.
Get better compensation
Oh,
for the
yeah.
trade. You know.
All right. Oh, my game. I need that the defensive coordinator. I need him to either get a big talking to stay aggressive because we were doing that a lot of the game, and then
And I totally agree with those receivers
Yeah.
on that Cowboys offense, and especially with what they could possibly do with Javonte Williams
Yeah.
as their running back. You know, I think, and they play in the same division. You may end up seeing these guys for the next couple years.
Yeah.
So you really got to try to shut them down early and be aggressive. I mean, that defensive front. I mean, you saw what was happening. All Carter, Burns, and Thibodeau were all getting after the quarterback.
yeah, they're doing that even with Dexter Lawrence not doing too much yet.
Yep.
And it's early in the season, so I'm not too worried about that. But at the same time, the offense showed that they actually can play football. Russell Wilson with career day, Malik Neighbors, and Wan'Dale Robinson also with pretty good career days. You know, Robinson, that's the most yards he's gotten in his career so far. And, I mean, Russell Wilson has been using both of them a lot, and I like to see that, especially Wan'Dale, because everybody was kind of calling for a trade for Wan'Dale before the season started.
Yeah, and he had a big game. That
Yes.
was crazy. How
Yep.
many
I think it's
bombs he caught?
yeah.
Caught like
And-
3 of them, right?
Yeah, and then, Neighbors, too.
Yeah,
The
he had
48-yarder and then a 29-yarder, I believe. Coming in clutch, I mean, he called for the go to sleep a little too early. But that's whatever. But, I mean, props to Dallas for, finding that kicker. My God.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's freaking possible.
60, what was it?
64, and his
Yeah.
record is 65. But, again, going back to my point,
Then
Shane...
he had 2 60-yard field goals.
Yeah.
bro.
But,
Like-
Shane Bowen, bringing the linebackers back, dropping the cornerbacks back, and just letting the
think-
front four try and do something,
Yeah, and
that
he's-
gave them enough space to hit Ferguson right over the middle and get into his freaking range where somehow it's 65 yards.
And you know what? I could see where he wants to play more conservative and off the ball because maybe last minute they want to take a Hail Mary, just to get a score and win the game, get it done and over with. But realistically, I think the Cowboys played better football. I mean, they were just smarter. I think, like you said, the Giants should have been way more aggressive. If they were covering more of these short passes but kept 2 safeties deep, in my opinion, that would have been a conservative but aggressive play calling. At least keep CD pressed. You could keep the opposite side of the field.
Yeah.
Cornerback off. But CD needs to be jammed at the line of scrimmage, and there needs to be a safety over the top to go ahead and compensate if CD can break loose because he's a burner.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Russell Wilson. You want to take it away with that?
Most yards of his career, and we wasted it with a freaking loss.
I think that's the best quarterback performance you've seen since Eli. in my opinion, you know. Well, Chris has to go into an intermission. I will take things away here. But I think overall, the Cowboys also went ahead and immediately after the game, you could see throughout the entire game they had horrible pass rush help. They went ahead and signed Jadeveon Clowney immediately after the game. Think that was a great opportunity. Last year he had 5.5 sacks for the Carolina Panthers. He was more in like a rotational role, but like a mentor rotational role, and still had a huge impact. And he wasn't even I think a season or two removed from 9 sacks with Baltimore, and he played really well there. As a Baltimore Ravens fan, I would have liked him to actually stay with the team, but so, that's just how the business goes. They always move on, and they always have their next up guy, their next up young guy. So that's just how it's always going to be in the NFL. Same thing with like quarterbacks. Quarterbacks could have a job, get hurt, and the next week their job is gone to another quarterback who played just as well, if not better, and showed that they could move down the field. So. And they also the Cowboys really need help on the offensive edges on the line. You think you could agree with that? You think you could agree with the Cowboys needing help on the edges on their offensive line?
I mean,
because that looked. I mean, even though that the Giants had such a great defensive line play, right?
I mean, it's tough because the first 2 weeks, at least, they've played the Eagles' defensive line, even without Carter in the first game. Because, he only lasted 6 seconds. Imagine lasting 6 seconds. That's crazy. And then the Giants' defensive line, which, it is playing pretty well so far. I know it's only a couple weeks in, but, they're showing they can at least get to the quarterback.
Bro, it's just that number 55 guy, bro.
Yeah. Oh, my God. The Giants' offensive line? Jesus Christ.
I don't remember that guy's name, but
Marcus Bowe.
Marcus Bowe?
Yeah.
Put him at guard.
Idiot. No. Release him. He's an idiot. The guy that they ended up putting in,
defense.
The guy they put in instead, he played pretty much a perfect game from what I can remember. He didn't give up any sacks. He didn't give up any stupid penalties.
Didn't he let up 4 penalties in the last game? Or between the 2 games?
Who? That guy, Bowe?
Yeah.
No, on that first drive, he had 4 penalties.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then he ended up yelling
just not disciplined.
No, I know Dable said that before the game I told him to be aggressive. I don't think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
I don't think he meant slap a guy in the helmet.
Did you see what Dable did to try to back up his player?
No.
So instead of going we hit him in the head or anything like that, he downplayed it and was like, no, he was trying to get up. He just wasn't paying attention and accidentally put his hand on his head.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. All right. Well, let's move on to the Bears and Lions. Yeah. Lions back in form after week 1.
51 points in overall, and that moves Jared Goff up on the list of the amount of 50-yard games he's had. Brady has had 5.
50-point games?
Yeah, 50-point games, my bad. Brady's had 8.
Of course he
right?
is.
Breeze has had 6. Manning has had 5, and now Goff has 5. So...
Well, when you throw 5 touchdowns, it's going to happen.
That's a cool little stat, just so you guys know.
But, 334, 23 for 28. I think after week 1, they also heard all the noise like the Giants did. And the noise of, they're missing their coordinators. I mean, I said it last week.
And did you see how effective that duo was again? It was good to see that Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery going into this season are still doing that. Mm-hmm. Still a great duo. I think they both averaged over 5 yards a carry too. They had a crazy game.
I mean, but the Bears looked lifeless, which it seems to be a consistent thing. Rome Odunze though, he had a pretty good game.
Spot.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams is doing what he can with that offensive line.
Yeah,
Where's Moore?
DJ Moore.
Where's DJ Moore? I don't know. We haven't heard any speculation of him. I thought he was signed to the Bears.
He is.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
trade looking. I don't know.
Oh, they're looking into trading him.
Well, he had 46 yards, and that's nothing too crazy.
But like he's not scoring touchdowns. Like
Yeah,
that's
wow.
you know what I mean. And he's supposed to be.
It was going so well.
He's supposed to be like the number one receiver.
Yeah.
You know, so it But you know, if he's it just doesn't make sense. I think they're just paying him too much money. I think Roman Dunze is going to end up being the starting receiver after a while, and eventually more will get traded.
Yeah, but I saw a thing. Apparently, Caleb Williams told his punter, "You're not going to be punting a lot while I'm here," and I think, what is it, 91 punt? Like I don't know, something crazy.
Yeah.
Some crazy number of punts, and so he lied. Liar.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you're the Bears and you trade your starting running back, who was Montgomery, to the Lions. He gets used against you. I don't know if he was traded or he signed. I think they just let him walk. But, because I know that there was a lot of, towards the end of his tenure with the Bears, there was a lot of back and forth between him and the previous coach, not the one that they have now. I think that was not Nagy. Who was the one after Nagy? Well, the Bears are just a blur at this point, honestly. The Bears.
Rams.
Yeah,
and
Rams and Titans. Okay. To me, I felt like the Rams controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They played pretty well. Cam Ward in that game, I think he had a few flashes. I don't know if you saw that crossbody throw.
Yes,
he
I did.
across
That
the
was
field for
really
a touchdown.
nice.
That was crazy.
But other than that, he couldn't really get anything rolling. I feel like they're still dropping passes from him.
Yeah.
After last week, it was really
And the
bad
offensive
last
line
week.
looks atrocious. That Rams defensive front seven is all young guys,
Yep.
and a lot of that Titans front line is a lot of older guys. And I'm surprised that the veterans just could not hold up. You know?
But I mean, the Rams are still picking them apart regardless. Because Puka had over 130 scrimmage yards.
Well, they have deniably one of the best receiving corps in the league.
And he had one rush for 45 yards, and that was a touchdown. And then Devontae Adams had 106 and a touchdown. So they're, like you said, one of the best corps in the league, probably the best in terms on paper.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see if that continues.
And I will say that Titans defense, like, they just look sad. You know what I mean? Like, from what you're used to, you got Simmons on that defense, right?
Yeah.
Like, I forget the guy's name. He's got a funny last name, but they just drafted him this year as a edge rusher, outside linebacker. He's pretty good, I just expected a little bit more from this veteran front seven. They also ended up picking up what's his name from the Broncos.
Beats me.
Joseph Day. Yep. So they ended up getting him on the front, and I thought he was gonna do something, but I didn't really hear anything.
Yeah. Well. Oh well. Maybe. Hopefully they'll figure it out. I don't think this year they will, but maybe if they draft someone good next year.
Yep.
All right, Patriots Dolphins. Wow, the Dolphins actually played football today.
Tyreek Hill actually had a good game.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, and Tua actually had a good game.
Yeah, Tua. Minus the one interception. He had, over 300 yards?
I think he shook off the CTE.
Maybe he got laid. I don't know.
Oh, maybe that too. And they usually say you're not supposed to do that before a game.
Oh, well.
But it's very possible that there
helped.
was some enticement. There could have been some motivation.
Oh, well, if it worked, it worked. I don't know.
Hey, but they didn't win.
That's true. But he played good. So.
And even the head coach said, the only time you win games is when you actually win the game.
He's a dope. He's a dope.
His
He's such a dope.
Some of the stuff that he says is just to the moon.
You just look at it. You just look at him. You know he's a dope.
Oh, he looks like the guy from Ratatouille. Not Remy, not the mouse. The guy, the chef.
Yeah. I can see a little bit.
Just take the glasses off.
Yeah, but I mean, the Patriots held on.
Yep.
You know?
I think Drake May had a really great game.
Yeah, he's
19
showing why he was the number 2, whatever pick it was.
First
3?
round pick.
Yes.
Showing why he was a early first round pick.
And why the Giants could have got him last year, but
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
Listen, Vrabel's got
No,
a
freaking Tommy DeVito's a pain.
you know, I think shout out to Julian Edelman and I think that that Vrabel's really, and I agree with Edelman on this, that Vrabel's going to really change the culture of that locker room. And you could already see it. He already has. You know what I mean? They're going back to the run. They're trying to get the run game to open up the passing game, which obviously happened here. I mean, there was also a few drops. I think there were 2 drops for the receivers, and May would have had almost a perfect game. He had 19 completions for 23 attempts, 230 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Patriots defense just held in, came in clutch, won the game.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just I'm happy to see that they're clicking. I would like to see Stephon Diggs do a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that over time it'll eventually mold. I think it'll adjust. So, but on to the next one.
49ers and Saints, the battle of the backups.
Yep, we're a little battle.
Mac Jones and Spencer Rattler.
Well, don't they want Rattler to eventually start?
I guess. Well, I mean, technically he is a starter. He was named the starter at the beginning of the year, but
Yeah, but he was always a backup.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Because they don't have anybody else.
Yeah, but I think without Brock Purdy, they looked really good. In
Yeah.
my opinion, I'm starting to believe that Kyle Shanahan is a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
Any quarterback that he throws into his scheme is pretty successful. You had Jimmy G. You had Trey Lance didn't really do too well, but I mean in the preseason he did really.
They didn't
well
really
in the
give him a
Chargers.
chance though either.
Yeah, that's true too because they had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
You know, we really only stepped in like midway through the season when Jimmy G got hurt, and I mean for a young quarterback, you want to start at the beginning of the year. You want to mold with your receivers, your players. You know, you want them to block for you.
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, Mac Jones though, the 279, 3
Oh, yeah.
touchdowns.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
2 fumbles, but
no interceptions though.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball, he was very safe.
and he was able
in
to hit the
pocket
usual
that moment.
targets too. Juwan
Yep.
Jennings, Pearsall, and then McCaffrey is McCaffrey. So.
Oh yeah, Juwan Jennings had a great game. 5 receptions, 89 yards, averaging 17.8 yards per catch, and a touchdown. I think that kind of came out of nowhere. I think that was, a really good game. And to touch back on Mac Jones, I mean, he ended with a 113 passer rating.
Yeah.
You know, so he showed to be pretty effective in the passing game. And then Spencer Rattler, 25 completions for 34 attempts, 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think Alvin Kamara went ahead and found his footing, too. I think he's starting to really be a big impact. At least, hopefully, this game shows that he's going to try to be a big impact. He was only 1 yard short from 100 yards.
There you go.
He averaged 4.7 yards per carry on 21 carries for 99 yards. You know, he showed that he could help boost that run game, again, even as he's getting older.
Yeah.
Right? They just showed balance on the offense all the way around. It's too bad that the Saints did not win the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's too bad that they did not win the game. But I think that this game shows potential for what the Saints can eventually do. I think Spencer Rattler, am I completely sold that he's the answer?
No.
No.
Neither is Shuck.
But if he has more games like this, right?
Yeah, he can be
if
there
he
for a
has
little
more
bit.
games like this, then I think he could be like that Joe Flacco. You know, when Joe Flacco was winning games.
Okay.
Let's keep in mind.
All right.
You know, back in the
It's a
Ray
bold
Lewis era.
statement.
In the Ray Lewis era, I think, with that Saints defense, he could be pretty good.
All right.
You know,
We'll
I
see.
think as long as he scores touchdowns and wins games, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
I think he has it to do that, but we really won't know until later on in the season when they actually do win a game. I mean, that defense is so great with veteran talent and everything else that I would think.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, Demario Davis is still there.
Yep.
Cam Jordan's still there, and they have
Yep.
Chase Young still.
Yep.
But
And Chase, the only problem with Chase Young, he gets pressures, he gets QB hits, he just for whatever reason cannot get a sack.
yeah,
So, but that's something from what I've been looking into that he has said he's been trying to work on, and the defensive
All right.
coordinators have been trying to work on with him.
we'll see about that.
But I think if anything, he may just have to come off the other side. You know, have him come off the blind side. I don't know, if you know, and because if he can't get anything on the strong side, then what effectiveness are you really getting out of him?
Yeah.
When you traded all those draft picks for him,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. Well,
Moving on to
Bills Jets. Same old Jets. Last week was a fluke. It was a fluke, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Justin.
Oh, my God.
Justin Fields.
Oh,
Shit.
Tyrod and Justin Fields combined for 83 total yards.
Excuse my
That
language.
makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
He pooped the bed.
Yeah. I mean, Fields was running the ball a lot. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. The only notes I literally have on here, and like you could literally see it, is it says Jets completely folded. Really didn't have anything good going for them, but the Bills controlled the game and just steamrolled them. That's literally all I wrote. That's
Yeah.
all I can write.
You said, ugh, the Bills. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen, he didn't have as good of a game as last week.
And
but
I did say, the Bills, because I hate the Bills.
So after last week.
Listen.
But yeah.
After the last
Oh,
2
yeah,
years.
it's true. But, Josh Allen didn't have as good of a game stat-wise. But, he was also running the ball. He had a couple of good runs. But James Cook really carried them to that win. The 2 touchdowns he had, they were big runs, too. So that just, was a shot into the Jets, and they just couldn't come back from any of that. And the Bills' defense caused 2 fumbles. So.
Yeah, well, that was the only comment I had about that game. That's all I'll say. I
But
hate praising my
Seahawks Steelers, though, that was a back and forth game until it wasn't. Rodgers struggled in this game. He really struggled. He couldn't get things going, and 2 interceptions. The Steelers' defense held their own until the fourth quarter. The Seahawks, like I said, a close game, but the Seahawks just blew it open in the fourth quarter. Cooper Kupp had 90 yards, Smith and Jigba had 103, and Kenneth Walker had 105 rushing yards. And like I said, the Seahawks just exploded in the fourth quarter, I think for 17 points alone in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers just could not do anything.
You know what I'm waiting next? I'm waiting to see what Zach Wilson does if he ends up signing with a team and doing really well.
I think he's with Miami.
Because every single
He's on Miami.
Jets, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, let him start. I bet you
Not after what Tua just did.
after every time the Jets got rid of a quarterback and they went into a better situation, those quarterbacks always statistically did better. Geno Smith,
Yeah.
right? You have, Ryan Fitzpatrick actually did good there. You
Yeah.
know, that was like the last good quarterback for the Jets. But they were also a good situation. They had guys like Brandon Marshall on that team.
Yeah.
But besides the point, but where I'm getting to this is that Sam Darnold going ahead and going to Seattle. He went from the Jets to the Panthers to the Vikings. Played really well with the Vikings.
He had a small stint in San Francisco.
Did he?
Yeah, very small.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. And then he ends up going to the Vikings. Plays a phenomenal season. Now he's with Seattle. Playing
Got his
really
money.
well. And to go back to guys like Geno Smith. I mean, he's gonna come up later. So you know what? I'll save that for later.
All right.
Yeah, and realistically for the Steelers, Rodgers looked old, looked
Yes, he
slow.
did.
That line was horrible. He didn't even have 26 passing yards going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know. Pissed
That's
me
all
off.
he had was 26 yards.
It's my bet. He lost me my bet. God damn.
And that run game, Warren just didn't open up the run game for them. He really.
No, they just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and there was also a lot of mistakes. I mean, I don't know if you saw on that defense. The defense, the one big score came with the defense on I think it was an interception. And that was pretty much it. I mean, everything else what the defense did, they were just making mistake after mistake after mistake.
Yeah.
You know, and really letting up a lot of points. I mean, my dad, right? Somebody who's been a Steelers fan since the 70s, since the Steel Curtain. Um, he was disgusted with the entire game. He thought that defense played atrocious. He's not really satisfied with Rodgers. I think a lot of the Steelers fans are kind of 50-50. I know that there was even talk about Terry Bradshaw not being happy about the signing, and just basically saying that it wasn't very much like the Steelers' way to go sign a quarterback instead of drafting a quarterback.
Yeah. Oh well.
You know, but that's just, you know, Mike Tomlin. He wants to win now. I think he's on the hot seat. He hasn't won a playoff game since Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
Right.
He always has the winning record, but that's about it.
Yeah, but he hasn't won any playoff games.
Yeah.
And that's where they're like, what is going on here? You know,
Oh,
and
well.
the AFC North is one of the best. One of the best divisions in the league, you know, and I think the NFC North is actually making a good case to being one of the better divisions in the league, but especially for the NFC. And I mean, again, just the Steelers just looked all over the place. I think that they're kind of folding underneath the narratives that are going on. I mean, T.J. Watt, you know, he looks quiet out there, you know, which is unexpected. You don't expect T.J. Watt or any of the Watts to really be playing poorly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I just think, and he just got re-signed this offseason, didn't he? So it looks like a whole situation over there in Pittsburgh.
All right, your game.
Yeah, my game.
Oh my God,
Oh,
game started
yeah.
really slow though. I'll say that. Game definitely started slow, but the Ravens came out of the half like their butts were on fire. No, but then there's Joe Flacco.
The Ravens just took advantage of everything that was given to them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Browns defense played well until they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, until the second half.
Yeah.
You know, Flacco was dominated by his former team, and believe it or not, this was actually his first return to M&T Bank Stadium.
Was it?
Going up against his former team, yes.
I thought
He's played the Ravens, but at his own home game in Denver. Not, and I think with the Jets.
Whack.
Not in M&T Bank Stadium. He has not played in that stadium since 2019.
No. Whack.
So, and I think Quinshon Judkins, he looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
10 carries, 61 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. I think the Browns got themselves
A good replacement for Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and I mean, even Nick Chubb had a pretty good game too. But that's really all I got to say about the Browns. You know, I mean, they could have done better. I'm happy that Marlowe put Judy in his place.
Mm-hmm.
When asked how hard it was to get open against Marlon Humphrey, Jerry Jeudy said, "Not that hard. Look at his stats. Just look at his stats." Anyway, the Ravens, to me, played a phenomenal game at the line of scrimmage. You know, like their main thing is controlling that play clock, running the ball against you, and running down the time. You know, that's ultimately how they control it with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the focal point of that offense. The defense held the Browns to just 17 points, and the Ravens rallied for over 40 points. I mean, what can you say? You know, another MVP performance from Lamar for 4 touchdowns, had a passer rating of 128.6.
Yep.
Roquan Smith looked really good and took a fumble 63 yards to the house, which for a linebacker, that's a lot. He must have been gassed after.
I believe he's in pretty good shape.
But but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of bigness to carry.
I mean,
the field,
yeah, I guess.
You know, and I think it just showed that the Ravens defense is also capable of defensive scoring. I think this defense is very comparable to that 2000s Ravens defense. I'm going to say it right now.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to say they're going to be as good because that Ravens defense was legendary and won a Super Bowl and had a lot of guys that went to the Hall of Fame on it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think it's very possible as long as we learn from our passing defense woes from last year. You know, I mean, the first half of the season we were atrocious, and in the second half of the year we were the best.
Yeah.
which made no sense. But I hope it just, the way that this team has been playing, I hope it keeps going. Minus the Bills lost by 1 point.
Yeah. All right. Broncos, Colts. Daniel Jones does it again. Jesus Christmas. Yeah, he does it again.
How do you feel about that?
It's crazy. I mean, listen, it makes sense because, listen, he's in a better system, way better system, at least offensive line-wise. He's able to, think, even though I think I heard that he's still doing the same thing. Like, he looks down his target, and that's who he's throwing to. So I think that he's still doing that. So he needs to definitely get rid of that in his game.
He's doing the ultimate thing that a quarterback's not supposed to do.
Yeah,
And that is preset your plays before the snap.
Yeah.
Unless the coach is doing it and it's a strategic play.
Yeah, but he's done that his whole career.
Because
it's been noticeable.
a lot of team scheming, like the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan. A lot of his plays throughout the game are already scripted before he starts.
It's true.
But and then he does change it according to what he sees. But that's with the Colts. If the Colts are running that way and can help Daniel Jones and help him just be a situational quarterback and they win games, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor was able to get like 215 total yards, 25 carries and 2 receptions, and he got in the end zone. So that was definitely a big help for that offense to be able to do the things they were doing. And I mean, it was still a close game, though. It was still a close game. The Broncos had it until they didn't. The field goal got the Colts the win. I know how that feels. But it was what it was.
Yeah, and
the Broncos defense struggled.
And I think there was a little bit of a breakout game there. I mean, literally, with what I got here on my notes, Daniel Jones, eyeball. It's like, what? But he, 23 completions, 34 attempts for 316 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Where was this Daniel Jones in freaking New York, dude?
He was there in 2022 for the first half of the season, and then once the bye week happened,
that was it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he won us that one playoff game, which probably shouldn't have even won that game, but that season alone, the first half of that season they looked like a decent oiled machine.
Yeah.
And then once like week 10 hit, like I went to the game against the Lions, and from that point on it was
downhill.
It was a mess.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, it's like the Colts keep having, like, breakout games. So, like, the first week was Daniel Jones' breakout game. This week, I think, was Tyler Warren. He hauled in 4 passes for 79 yards, and he averaged 20 yards a catch. He didn't have a touchdown, though.
Well, and Jonathan Taylor, I'd say, too.
Yeah.
I mean, but that
Jonathan Taylor's expected, though. That's the heart of that offense.
But, I mean, last year, he was kind of quiet for the most part of last year. And, he might have been hurt, too.
They were trying to find their identity. They were all over the place. Quarterback situation, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. For the Broncos, you got anything?
Oh, yeah. The Broncos looked decent, played a great game. I think Bo Nix really stepped up. I think Bo Nix really stepped up for this game. Compared to last week. Last week for him was freaking atrocious. He went ahead, had 22 completions for 30 passes. On the day, 3 touchdowns. His passer rating was 111.2, which for a second-year quarterback is pretty efficient. J.K. Dobbins finally woke up, showed his former Baltimore Ravens self. He rushed for 76 yards, 14 carries, and averaged 5.4 yards a carry and a touchdown. So I think that Broncos run game really helped open up the passing game for Bo Nix. Really got him going. I've always said, if you can get the run game going, it makes the defense have to respect the run, so then you can open up the pass, and that's ultimately how you win the game, is on the line of scrimmage. So, but that's ultimately what we saw here, and the Broncos defense, they were pretty good. They just held in there, did what they had to do. I don't think they didn't end up winning the game because of that stupid penalty, but the retry for the kick. But we can move on to the next game, which is the Panthers and Cardinals. Bryce Young finally put together some good numbers. I think that's
That he did.
you know.
That's about it, though.
I could see here we both got the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's about it. That was the only.
yeah.
It's the only good thing for them.
And then Kyler Murray, he just was Kyler Murray. You
Yeah.
know, that Cardinals offensive line doesn't even have to be that great. He just runs away from the defensive guy, and that's it. It's kind of like Lamar.
But, he has Trey McBride. Trey McBride was definitely.
Big part.
Yeah.
He's always a big part of that offense. That's like the only, besides Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, but McBride's more consistent though.
I know.
So far.
But that's what I mean. You know, Marvin Harrison, he hasn't really gotten his feet up and going.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a question going into the rest of the season is can Marvin Harrison have a breakout game? Can he go crazy?
Yeah.
You know, last year he had a couple good games, I think. But the Cardinals, Kyler Murray, he had 17 completions for 25 pass attempts, 220 yards, an interception, and a touchdown. You really can't help the interception. He was just under fire all game.
Yeah.
The Cardinals defense, they played pretty well. They collected 3 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and they showed great pressure against the opposing quarterback. I think that was kind of what put Bryce Young in his place. You know, he went ahead, was having a great game, and then had multiple turnovers.
Yeah.
Right? So, moving on to the next.
Super Bowl rematch.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't as exciting. But
Same old crap, different day. Is that what
Yeah.
you got there, Chris?
Yeah, different word choices, but yeah. Both of the quarterbacks threw for under 200 yards. Hurts barely made it over 100, and Chris Jones. I had to say something about that, but then Hurts had a good old clap back. We still won. So
That was hilarious.
it was funny, but also Mahomes shouldn't be the leading rusher for the Chiefs. I don't know how that happened this week. Obviously the Eagles' defensive line is what they are, so it's going to be hard to run against them. But still, how is Patrick Mahomes the leading rusher for the team in this game? He barely did anything throwing the ball.
Well, dude, Travis Kelce. I don't know if you saw that one play. Travis Kelce had a 7-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he actually got
A 7-yard touchdown in his hand. And you know what happened? Whoop. Right into the other player's hands.
He's thinking too much about Taylor.
He should have just retired already.
Wooden
man.
plank
He's got
a woman.
He's got all his wooden plank. He's got all his business ventures. He's making all this money. He's got his podcast.
Yeah, at this point, he's gonna live off Taylor's money.
Yep, and they're like the richest duo in sports.
They're gonna be, yeah.
And, you know what
And it's not even him.
She's worth over $1 billion.
Yeah, now she got her music too under her now.
So she makes everything off of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, like Chris was saying, the Chiefs just look slow. First time. This is also the first time in Mahomes' career that he's lost 3 games in a row, counting the Super Bowl. Which everybody's like, yeah, lose more games.
It's all right. We'll see if we can beat them next week. I doubt it. I doubt.
My question is, here's a good question. After seeing just these 3 games, the Super Bowl, the first game, and the second game, is the Chiefs dynasty over?
I knew you were gonna say that. I don't think so. Yes, this year I don't think they're making it to the Super Bowl this year. I know it's only 2 games, but coming off of losing the Super Bowl last year,
and that was an atrocious game too.
Yeah.
They weren't even playing that good to begin
Yeah.
with. How they made it to the Super Bowl last year, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely over, but I don't think this year is gonna be their year.
Yeah, and
Quote me on that if I'm wrong, but.
But like that Chris Jones comment, bro.
And
going back on that was so funny. You barely got any yards.
Wait, listen, now it's two weeks straight that we've talked about like something he's saying.
Yeah.
Because last week him and Tranquil, I don't know. They were barking at each other.
Oh, Drew Tranquil?
Yeah. Now this week he's mouthing off with Jalen Hurts. That's just competition though.
Yeah.
But. All right, yeah. Vikings and Falcons. McCarthy looked like trash.
Yeah, he also got hurt. Carson Wentz. What do you think about him taking over? You think he's just a noodle arm now?
Maybe he'll play better. I think he has a chance to play better. But at the same time, listen, McCarthy. He fumbled a couple times. You know, the Vikings as a whole had 4 turnovers, and they fumbled 4 times, but they recovered 2 of them.
Yeah.
But still, like, that's ridiculous.
Look at the stats on that defense. I'm going to follow up with that.
I mean, yeah, the Falcons' defense was on them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was insane.
The defense finished with 6 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, and 11 quarterback hits. They were getting pressure,
Yeah.
man. Especially that rookie Walker. He was getting back to the quarterback. I believe he got 2 sacks in that game, showing his first round pick rights.
Yeah.
You know.
And then Bijan too. Bijan 143 yards.
Yeah, and then they had 2 younger guys, Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman, both got a pair of interceptions. You know, they both each got one. They showed that they were ball hawks. One of the plays, Billy Bowman. I mean, I thought the receiver had it, and he just jumped in front, caught it, and went out of bounds.
Yeah.
And rolled out of bounds. I was like, what? That was some spectacular play. And the Vikings. You know, literally just exactly what you said, Chris. I mean, McCarthy just looked horrible. Bijan was running all over that Vikings defense. The defense could not do anything. So, I think it really push comes to shove as to how much a quarterback could actually change the entirety of the game.
Yep.
Just one player.
Yep.
But moving on to the Tampa
Monday
Bay
night.
game. That was last night. That's why we waited for today to put this up.
Yep. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, always topic of discussion. I mean, last year, like I said in the previous week 1, that he had like an MVP type season last year. You know, over 30 passing touchdowns, kept those interceptions down. I mean, he still had double digits, but I think it was like 13 compared to 30 touchdowns, which is a good touchdown to interception ratio. It's almost like Brady's numbers.
Yeah.
You know. But
he played pretty well.
You know, 25 completions on 38 attempts, 215 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Played really well. He got sacked 4 times.
Yeah, but I mean, he had some good rushing yards, and he clowned Will Anderson on one play.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he thought he stopped him on 3rd down, but then he's like, yo, I got the 1st down.
Yeah. And look at the stats of Bucky Irving. 17 carries, 71 yards, no rushing touchdown. The longest rush he had was 10 yards.
But
receiving wise, I mean, 6 receptions, 50 yards. He really was all over the place. And I mean, they also their secondary back, Rashad White, he even played really well. 10 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. So you really can't get any worse than that. The receivers, I mean, Emeka Egbuka, another touchdown this week. Didn't have crazy yards like he did last week, but as a rookie, you know, he's showing that he could be serviceable. I'm pretty sure he plowed through the end zone. He caught the ball and plowed through to his own guy and some other guy to get into the end zone. Yeah, I mean, guy just wants to win. Guy just wants to score. He don't care no matter the cost.
You know, I mean, then Stroud. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of memes about C.J. Stroud lately. That after his rookie year, he hasn't really been anything too exciting. I mean, it's not wrong. You know, but I know like.
But I think he's consistent.
Yeah, but then like last year too, Nico Collins was hurt a good chunk, and then what's the other guy?
Stephon Diggs.
No.
Yeah, but he was gone.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't doing much there.
He was hurt.
Yeah, still. Whatever.
Top guy was hurt.
There was another guy. I'm so upset I'm forgetting his name.
Brandon Cooks?
No.
I'm trying to think about all the Texans receivers that they've had.
I'll find his name. It'll pop up.
No, Braxton Berrios was pretty good when he first came into the league.
Let's see here.
No, this is the
Tank
today.
Dell.
Oh, Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell.
Sorry. Yeah, well, yeah, he's still out. You know, he's missing that. Him and Nico Collins. Those were his top receivers.
And I think with C.J. Stroud, he's missing a true number 1 option. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right now it's Nico Collins, but
I think Nico Collins can prove to be that. But as of right now, he's not like an X factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not going to be like the DeAndre Hopkins or like what the Texans had, DeAndre Hopkins or Andre Johnson. You know, even Owen Daniels. Speaking of greats from the Texans. But going on to the next game.
Apparently, nothing happened in the Chargers game,
Yeah.
according to ESPN, because there are no stats.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Hmm.
What the heck? Weird.
Well, from what I know from that game, Geno Smith played a pretty good game. Justin Herbert played a pretty good game. Khalil Mack ended up getting hurt. He ended up having a forearm injury. I don't know if you saw, but his forearm did not look normal.
Oh, that's
He
nice.
slammed it on the ground after a tackle.
Oh. Well, I mean, Herbert, though, he was also their leading rusher. Not by much, but
Yeah.
242, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 19 for 27.
Najee Harris, I don't know if there's any hope.
There's no. He's a pirate, remember. Like Quinn Johnston, though, he's catching the ball still. He had a touchdown, 71 yards.
Yeah, he had that big one.
Yeah.
He had that big touchdown reception.
Keenan Allen, 61 with a touchdown. Lad
Yep.
McConkey, 48, no touchdown, but
But you know what? This receiving core is still consistent. This is like
Yeah.
comparable stats to last week. Just that Keenan Allen did the same thing.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey had the most yards, and Quentin Johnson was where Lad McConkey was.
yeah. Let's see
You
the
know.
defense.
And that
They got an
defense-
interception.
Yeah, the defense played, like from what I saw, the defense played really well. Bud Dupree, you don't really hear much about anymore. Khalil Mack, great game. I think that their leading tackler was Dayan Henley. So 1 interception, a sack. Pretty sure that's their inside linebacker. He played pretty well too.
Yeah. Hey, but no, Chargers are still rolling.
Yep. And Geno, oh my God.
Whoa, rough. 24 for 43, 180 yards, and
Take
3
back that he had a
interceptions.
decent game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's-
didn't look, did you?
No, I didn't. I just saw the highlights of him throwing it downfield a couple
Oh, they
times.
had 9 points, so. Genty didn't do too much.
I didn't do my homework enough on this game.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Genty didn't do too much. Jacoby Myers was the leading receiver,
Did you
68
see the
yards.
truck sticks that he had though on some of these guys?
No, I did
He
not.
ran over like 3 guys in this.
Well, that's what he was brought there to do. If you look at his college tape, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, 38
Good
yards. He didn't do too much.
Yeah. Jacoby Myers was the only bright spot in that receiving core.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, I think he only had 1 good catch, and that was just to move the chains on a third and down.
Oh, I forgot Devin White's
3rd and 10.
in Oakland. No, not Oakland, Vegas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Devin White went there because they ended up keeping Levante David. He ended up playing longer than expected.
True.
So
Oh, well.
and they got
It was
Jamal
him.
Adams. Jamal Adams had a decent game.
Jonah Laulu.
He had some kind of impact.
He had 2 sacks. That was the only sacks that they got.
Laulu.
So, yeah, nothing too crazy from this game.
Yeah, but I would say a lot of the injuries that happen, a lot of the signings, I think that we're going to see a totally different NFL by the time it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of new, younger players. With what we're seeing in just the first 2 games, I can tell that you're going to see a lot of younger players break out and become starters throughout the playoffs. They'll be like secret weapons.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll see. We'll see.
So we'll see what ends up happening. But
Hopefully, next week is still as exciting as this week.
Oh yeah, this week was fun. We went to.
But our it's a Buffalo
I
Wild.
went to Buffalo Wild Wings, saw the games.
But
I had a great time.
we had the table next to us that was screaming over the Seahawks game.
Yeah,
And then I was getting annoyed at the Giants game.
yeah.
But anyway, Giants got the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? I mean, guess what?
Oh God, what?
My guys have to play the Lions. And
Okay,
you know-
well
you
that'll
know-
be a
you
better
know whose-
game than
you
our
know
game.
whose team the Lions are?
Oh yeah,
My girlfriend's.
there you go.
So there's gonna be a rivalry this weekend.
Mother of Lord.
Why'd you have to go out, camera? Come back. Come back. Oh, just a couple. Yep. Sorry.
All right.
Yep.
We apologize for the camera issues.
Yeah, the interference.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah,
It'll be better next week.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a rivalry this week.
There you
and
go.
She may hate me.
We'll see.
Going into next week. So.
Well, if Jared Goff plays like he did, but your defense has to also play like they've been playing. So at least this past week.
We have to sack them.
Yeah,
that's bottom line. That's the only way you beat golf is pressure.
but
So.
yeah,
But yeah, that's what we got for
All right.
this week's
week
pod.
2.
We finally got a camera.
For the most part.
It's kind of fuzzy in and out,
But
But yeah,
Stuff happens.
Yeah, we're progressing. Progress. Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Week 3. Right around the corner.
See y'all next time on the
Zero Zone. Oh, that was cringe. Bye.